Yo, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Shisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Woman on TikTok asked, what's a scam that's become so normalized that we don't realize it's a scam anymore? No more wasting time. Let's get it.
What's a scam that's become so normalized that we don't even realize it's a scam anymore?
Ooh, I got one. Marriage. Marriage is a big scam. It doesn't benefit the woman at all. All we do is take on more work and take on additional children, including the ones we birth and the one we married to. In addition to that, they expect us to do all of the housework, all of the children rearing, everything that they felt like their grandmothers and their mothers were doing or did do. And I gotta go to work. And I gotta pay bills. And I gotta do all kinds of other shit for his. No, marriage is the biggest scam that's ever been pulled on a female. I tell all of y'all, stay the away from that shit.
All right, guys, you heard it for yourself. A woman asked, what's a scam that became so normalized that we don't even realize it's a scam anymore? And this woman responded and said, marriage. And she said that because women get the shorter end of the stick most of the times in marriage. Now, you guys know what this channel is about. And if we're talking about marriage and looking at the data and facts, we know that what she said is all cap. 100% cap. And a lot of people had a lot to say about what she said. But the craziest thing about this video and why I had to react to it is because in abnormal, in fact, I'm not going to say abnormal because it makes sense. A lot of women agreed with what that woman had to say. A lot of women agreed that marriage is the biggest scam for women because women do all the work and get the shorter end of the stick. Now we're going to address everything that she said and what other people had to say. All right, so as usual, we're gonna check out some of these comments. This female commenter said, when you said marriage, I immediately hit like. Marriage is overwhelming and overrated, period, with an exclamation mark. She goes on to say, I just got out of a 20-year sentence, right? So she's likening her marriage to a prison sentence, which she probably initiated the exit. So as you guys can see, a lot of people like that comment. There's like 9,000 likes on that comment. There are a lot of women out here who agree that marriage is not for most women and they get the shorter end of the stick, blah, 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 everything that chick had to say, right? They agree. So in response to the lady that made the video, this commenter said, stop crying, you picked him. You said, I do. He's the same man, you just don't need him anymore because you think you're better and got your own money now. And to that comment, the woman responded and had this to say.
I want to respond to this text. Stop crying. You picked him. You said I do. He's the same man. You just don't need him anymore because you think you better and you got your own money now. Sweetie, we are better. Always have been, always will be. And we got our own damn money. Always have had and always will. So as far as wanting him, we don't need him no more. We never needed him. Never. We desired him. We wanted him. That's what we loved him. That's what we did. But no, we ain't never need his for nothing. And we always had our own damn money. So I don't even get that. And as far as him being the same person, no, he's not. His was masquerading from day one that we was getting with him until finally the mask fell off and we saw who the hell they really were. So no, we didn't pick the person that we ended up with. No, he's not the same person that we met. So I think I kind of addressed every point that you had. And as far as crying, baby, we been stopped crying. I told you. What did the lady tell you? No, we ain't doing hot girl. We ain't doing hot girl summer shit this summer. But guess what? We damn sure doing lukewarm. So the hell with his rag.
All right, so you guys heard it for yourself. And, you know, the interesting thing about this is the majority of these women who say they don't need a man anymore in their lives don't sing that same song in the courtroom when they're looking for child support, when they're looking for alimony, right? It's an interesting thing that's happened to women. While they've been encouraged to seek independence, the more women have been encouraged to boss up, the less that they feel like they need the men around them. And one last thing I want to point out here is the obvious way in which this woman just literally tried to dissolve all women who initiate divorce of accountability by saying, no, it's their fault. They changed. right? And justifying women initiating divorces, leaving marriages. Obviously, a woman who's been through a lot and is still hurt about the situation. I get it. You're upset. I get it. A lot of modern women were raised up to be strong and independent and didn't realize that that wasn't the right type of woman to be for a marriage. And now they're upset and bitter and don't like that coffee.
I don't drink coffee.
This next commenter says, I do not know one single happily married couple. Not one. And I believe her. Because happily married couples stay away from women who think like this. Really, you don't know one happily married couple? I can name a few happily married couples, but you can't find one? It's because they stay away from you, right? But somebody responded back to her comment and said, hi, married 26 years, together 29. I found one of the good ones, and I would not trade him for anything. But you see, it's not just him. It also has to do with the type of mindset that woman has. Here we have a negative woman who's been brainwashed by female empowerment to think that all men are bad. And like the woman said in the video, masquerade is something that they're not until they get into a relationship. That thing that they say are not are the Disney fairy tale princess and prince fantasies they grew up hearing about, right? And didn't realize that marriage is work and you do have to learn to cooperate. You do have to work. It's not all peaches and cream. But if you're not prepared for that, you're going to be bitter. You're going to be like these women. But this other woman here, even in her response, is positive, right? Obviously, I could see why she's married. And you can tell a lot from these highly emotional conversations and see the women who are more just bent on things not working out, and women who have been taught to just think that like men are impossible. You can't work with them, period, right? This next commenter says, y'all don't want to be married, but most will pop out a baby for him before seeing any type of a ring. That's facts. You've got a lot of women out here who talk about how they don't want to be married, how marriage is so difficult, but having 5 kids with 3 different guys is not. Oh, man. And that's only because, you know, society also dissolves women when it comes to child rearing and kids, right? Men get all the responsibility, no authority, while women get all the power when it comes to their kids. They can decide they don't want the kid anymore. They can decide they do want the kid, right? It's just the truth. In our society, women have all the power when it comes to bearing children, which is why they feel comfortable and don't complain about it. They have all the power, no accountability. They get to decide whether they keep the child, don't keep the child. In another video, I was talking about drop boxes that they have for mothers to drop babies off, that they don't want to take care of anymore, while men who decide to not take care of those kids will be held accountable, could even face jail time. But of course, the woman had something to say to this comment as well. Let's check it out.
I want to respond to this post. Sweetie, you ain't nothing you said was a lie. You did tell the truth on your post. But guess what? Do you know that there are women that want to be single moms? I know some. They don't want no damn husband. Women go to the damn sperm bank and get artificially inseminated all the time to have their own kids. They can afford them. They got their own money. They got awesome jobs. They bought homes. They can afford child care. They do all of that without a husband. There are women out there that don't want to be married. And yes, they want to be moms. So they have their children for themselves. Guys, we still stuck on this traditional. That's why this shit don't work to me. Because everybody still wants to convert to the traditional. Women doing a whole lot of stuff these days by themselves, and baby, it ain't because they all want a man to have a baby. For a lot of women, just want children to raise by themselves. They don't want a husband.
Yes, she's right. Women are doing everything by themselves. Women are out here attempting to do everything by themselves, and that's why everything is screwed up big time. You see, you never hear a large group of men talking about how they don't need women. You don't. But you hear women consistently preach about how they don't need men. The delusion of this woman is insane. Mind you, this woman is probably a mother who is raising up her kids to believe that men are disposable when it comes to a home. This woman is fine with single mother households. She can do away with masculine influence and energy in a young man's life. She is okay with men not having male role models when they grow up. She's okay with the breakdown of society as a whole. She's okay with it. Does it make sense? No. She's okay with the current state of families of women. But the question is she happy? Are most women happy? No, they're upset. She's upset, big time. And then she talks about how there's women out there who have their own money, they're taking care of their kids, and they're doing it all by themselves. Where are these women? Majority of you women depend on the government for help. None of these women are actually, these women that say like strong and independent, where? Most single moms would not know what to do with themselves if men didn't exist to facilitate the systems to help strengthen their delusion. Because you get spousal support, you think you can do it by yourself. No, you need men. Because you can call the police in danger, you think you can do it by yourself. You need men. Let's keep going. This commenter says, I'm never getting married again. I'm just fine with that too. Yeah, most older women, this woman looks like she's hit the wall a long time ago. Most older women just feel that way. When I hear a woman, especially an older woman, say something like that comment and the woman who's talking right now, they're not going to come to terms with the fact that they screwed up. So they'll say, I don't see myself getting married again. I'm okay with that. Okay, that's what you have to tell yourself so you can sleep at night. I get it, right? There is no chance for women like this anyways. So in response to the woman who made the video, this guy commented and said, who hurt you? Because my marriage ain't like that. Me and my wife help each other on everything. So she responded to that comment as well. And this is what she had to say.
Okay, I'm gonna respond to you in a video. Brother, stop. Just stop. Y'all need to stop. Look at this timeline. You will see all these thousands of women. This video done got 1 million views already. Look down the timeline and see how many women are agreeing with what I'm saying. Sweetie, you might be a good man. You taking good care of your wife. That's great. That's what's supposed to happen. But let's be clear, brother. And you know I'm telling the damn truth. Do every man compare to you being a good man? Because that's what's out there. Your wife is blessed that she has a good husband that understands the vow and understands the sharing of the household. I commend you and your wife. God knows. May God bless y'all for eternal. But sweetie, you gotta be 100%. Stop trying to take up for these raunchy motherfuckers. You know I'm telling the damn truth. Y'all know I am. Every damn man don't compare to you. And don't you even think that. You put your damn self on a...
Okay. Something I've been ignoring this whole time is how loud this woman is. So loud, so unnecessarily masculine. I mean, just listening to her, you can tell why any man had a difficult time dealing with her. Loud, masculine energy, highly obnoxious. Imagine dealing with that for years on end. I hate to say it, but this is part of the problem, man. Too many of these women have too much masculine energy. Guys, I was seriously trying to pay attention to what she was saying, but the loudness of her video and everything kind of just threw me off. But I want you guys to not lose sight of the premise of her overall statement. She's talking about a good man here, right? But her overall statement was she gets the shorter end of the stick because she's still expected to work. She doesn't want to work. And I doubt, in fact, I know most women aren't outworking the average man. So a lot of these women are just upset that when they meet a guy, he's not making enough money to pay for her lifestyle so that she doesn't have to work. When a woman says there's not enough good men, they're mostly talking about economically attractive men. There's a bunch of studies that prove that most women today, their deal breaker when it comes to the reason why they aren't married or don't find certain men attractive, while they may code it as, oh, he's not good enough, or I'm looking for somebody on my level, or I don't know, something about him, it comes down to finances. It comes down to the fact that they're all seeking a man who earns anywhere from 30 to 58% more than they do. And the catch here is, before female empowerment, this wasn't a problem. Why? Because all men earned more than women, because women didn't work or they weren't allowed to work. And you may say, what, are you trying to say that women shouldn't be able to work? That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying let's look at the data and the facts. We have more women today on psychiatric medications. We have more broken homes. Shit's really bad right now. And you can celebrate and say you're single and independent, but what happens when you're old? What happens when it's time for retirement? You don't have enough money to carry you through to retirement. This is something that Kevin Samuels was trying to convince a lot of women. It's like you're smiling now while you can still work at Target because you're not business owners. A very small percentage of you can actually, very, very small, can actually finance yourself through retirement. Most people can't without a 2-household income. A lot of these women just become a burden to their kids and to society at large. So this next commenter says, completely disagree. Married and happy with my best friend and partner. We're a team. We love and support one another. You attract what you focus on. And of course, she had something to say about this comment as well. Let's check it out.
Sweetie, you might disagree. Your marriage might be happy. Hopefully you won't end up as part of the 50%, but you can say what you want to say. And that last statement is irrelevant. It don't even make no sense. You attract what you focus on. Bullshit. That's a total bullshit statement. But the rest of your statement, okay, I can go with you. You say you happily married. Be blessed. Be grateful that you are not in the 50% of people whose marriages end in divorce. And be hopeful that yours don't end in divorce. Because, sweetie, you can say what you want to say. Y'all can talk about picking and choosing all you want. Sorry, them statistics don't lie. 50% of the people that get married get divorced. And they not happy.
Oh my God. Hold up. I almost forgot I had this button right here. Hold on. Here we go.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
Rest in peace. Man's needed more than ever, man. She didn't finish the rest of that statistic, which is women initiate the majority of those divorces. And the question is why? Why? We already know. They're incentivized to divorce. They're encouraged to not cooperate with the man. Black women in specifically have bought in very strongly to female empowerment. Let's check out this next comment. This commenter says, dreams are freeze, sisters. Stop getting them sold to you. Marriage ain't for the weak or the selfish. Know that. She responded.
Okay, I don't even know what to say on this statement. Dreams are free, sister. Stop getting them sold to you. I don't even understand what that statement means. Marriage ain't for the weak. Marriage ain't for no body, to be honest. Sweetie, I done been married. Yep. I done been married. You can say what you want to say. I done say good marriages. Good marriages. Yeah. At some point, yeah, we kind of grew apart. We were young, but no. That marriage wasn't good. But guess what? Again, every damn thing I stated was still the reality. The woman loses her name, takes on his. The woman is responsible for bearing the children. She's responsible for rearing the children. She's responsible for everything in the household, including his stuff too. We also help them with their businesses. We help them whatever work they got going on. Then we get up and we go to work too. We pay bills just like them. I have to be responsible in the house just like him. There's nothing that the husband does that I don't do other than me. That's the only thing he doing that I ain't doing in the household. While you bullshitting, most of the time we doing quadruple what they do. And no, sweet, I ain't trying to scare nobody, but I'm just stating fact. And you right, sister. Marriage is not for the weak. It's for the people that... I've had very good examples of marriage in front of me. My folks didn't divorce, you know. My folks didn't divorce. And they stayed together till death do them part. I've had very good examples of marriage in front of me. But y'all can say what you want to say, even looking back at my grandmama, my grandmother, and my great-grandmother, my aunties, and stuff that they did when they was married. And some of them did go to work. My grandmothers didn't work, but I had some aunties that went to work and still took care of their husbands and their families and da-da-da-da. Again, why all he have to do is go to work. That's all he do. He don't do nothing else. He go to work. Might cut some grass. But outside of that, they don't do nothing else. Unless something break down, he ain't fixing shit. And most of the time when something break down, ladies tell me I'm lying, we on their so bad it take forever and a day for them to get up and get something done. They get up and get it done because we be harassing the fuck out of them.
All right, so There's a couple of things there that she's upset about. She says women take the man's last name, they lose their last name. Well, that's because he's the winner. The man is the winner. Why should a man take your last name? We really could talk about a lot of this stuff. Why should a man take a woman's last name? The most qualified, the most competent, if we play by the rules, should get the last name. And in most cases, it's the man. You bear the children. The delusion of modern women. Think about this. They complain about having to bear children, but will fight to the death in court to have sole custody of the kids and even keep the kids away from you. So you're complaining about a problem, but you're fighting to keep the problem. And then she goes on to say we have to help them with their businesses. Then start businesses. But they don't start majority of businesses because women don't usually want to compete. And when they do compete against men, they fail. Women don't like who they are. They want to be men. Women want the respect of men. Today, a lot of women want the respect of men because they've been raised up to be the men who they would otherwise be attracted to. But they realize that they've become men in the mind, and so they're competing with men. Then they realize they can't compete. Instead of playing their role in the marriage, they want to complain and give up. Just backwards. Let's check out this next comment. This commenter says, no, you have to pick the right partner. Responding to her, and of course, she responded.
Okay, we got to pick the right partner. I'm going to tell you again, 50% of marriages end in divorce. So half of the people that get married, they pick the wrong partner. And you can't pick the right partner when the damn partner is masquerading, when they faking who they are. And sweetie, it's not even a matter of picking the right partner, because guess what? The man's supposed to choose. So now what you talking about us picking? Because that's it. When a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. So guess what? They picking. And I find it hard that you even made that comment.
So let's entertain her thought process for a second. If women are getting duped into men masquerading to be something that they're not, then wouldn't you at some point ask, well, who do you guys think men are in the beginning? If you ask that question, you realize these women are not looking for men. They're looking for girlfriends. They're looking for partners. They're looking for a delusional fairy tale that does not exist. And that's why women will get in marriages and say things like, well, I just didn't think you were like this, so I didn't think you had these expectations. It's so crucial nowadays to be RP aware. It's so crucial to know these conversations in and out, to be able to vet somebody for marriage. Because a lot of things have changed. Men have changed too. Men who are raised up by these women have changed as well. Modern women think like this. You've got to know how to vet women if you're crazy enough to get married today. I'll be honest with you guys. Even though I say I will most likely get married, I don't expect most people, even myself, right? I understand that it's a risk. But I don't expect marriage to be, how can I say this? I don't know if marriage will still be a thing, let's say 50 years from now, or even 20 years from now. I don't know what that will look like. And this might sound crazy, but I honestly believe unless if something catastrophic happens that reminds women why they should value men, why men are important. What do I mean catastrophic? When the pandemic happened, a lot of women were afraid and realized their vulnerability to not having a man to fight and fend for them. When food was running out, when people were stocking up, when riots started happening, and a lot of women got a taste of why they should have strong men. Not men raised up by women, but men raised up by strong men who are mentally fit, sound, to lead, to protect, to provide. It's easy to talk all this shit when you're living in a first world country where water comes out of the faucet and water comes out when you flush the toilet and your mess goes away, but you're not in those sewers. seeing the men who are working there, right? It's easy to complain right now while everything seems great until retirement hits and reality hits for a lot of these women, or until something crazy happens and all of a sudden now you're looking for that toxic man to protect you, to bring justice. I want to read a few more of these comments here. This commenter says, all these ladies talking about you got to pick the right partner. Please have a seat. The ratio of good men to dusties is 1-70. Like, girl. Another woman here who doesn't think there are enough good men out here to go around. Now, I want you guys to imagine, for all these women who are talking shit, that we put them back in the Stone Ages and their only goal in this world is to stay alive, is to survive. They don't have the police. They don't have Instagram. The world isn't as civilized as it is now. Well, really quickly, a lot of women would realize the importance of a man. I just did a video today. I released it today. Go check it out on my channel. There are a bunch of women who are on TikTok complaining about the rise of gas prices, of inflation, how everything is so expensive.
At this point, as high as everything is, I am willing to have a living roommate that I have sexual intercourse with and help me pay for things.
That's just like a small taste of how bad things can get. And one of the women who was complaining said, you know what, I finally think I see why I might need a man, and I may be open to having a man stay with me. She said, in exchange for letting him bust those cheeks, she would take money to help pay her bills. In that situation, all of a sudden, a man is valuable. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say life is too good for a lot of these women, and they're talking crazy. But unfortunately, life is also a very humbling thing. And if you don't realize it earlier on, most of these women do end up realizing it the closer they get to retirement. I worked with elderly for 10 years. 10 years. I watched older people. 10 years of my life was spent dealing with the elderly. I saw people who'd been married for 10 years. I saw people who'd been married for 50 years, 70 years, 80 years, people who were together till their hundreds. People who one partner died and they kept a picture next to their bed. People whose husband was with them the whole time. By the way, men are more loyal when spouses are sick and such. They usually stay with their wives. I remember this one guy, his wife had dementia. She couldn't even recognize him at times. But he stayed with her in the dementia unit, a lockdown unit where he couldn't leave when he wanted to. And I've also seen the dark side of not having people in your life, not having children, stable children who were raised up in a good family. And I've also seen the women who never got married, the pain that they go through, being alone. Women outlive men, and I don't think women realize that. They outlive men most of the times. Those women are miserable when they get older. A lot of these women will be. And there's some women who are realizing the importance of having a good man now, adjusting, embracing their femininity, learning to cooperate with the man, and that's great. But far too many women agreed with this post, agreed with this lady, and are destined for a very, very tragic end. We all die. Everybody dies. But from my experience, especially working with elderly people, I know two things matter. How you leave the world behind, your family. A lot of these women think that they could raise up kids when they're raising up a mess. They're raising up criminals. Men have aggression. And for a single mother to say, I don't need a man, I just want to have kids, you don't know how to master that aggression. He needs a man who he can look up to and know how to handle that aggression. If he doesn't know how to discipline his propensity for violence, things could get really bad for that guy, right? And a lot of women are leaving this world a lot worse because of the type of children they're raising up. That matters, how you leave the world behind, and also how you exit life too. There's nothing worse than seeing somebody alone in a nursing home all by themselves, or seeing somebody being a burden to their family all by themselves when they really could have just found a man to cooperate with and make things work out. This last comment is from a woman who said they don't want a wife, they want a free housekeeper. Yeah, I'll tell you what, guys, This is for the men in specific. We got to be grateful for the time we're living in now, the technology, the internet, that we're able to have these conversations so that you can know when you meet this type of woman with this type of mindset who think like this and avoid them like the plague. And like I've said in the past, I think the idea that the majority of people will snap out of the current state of just the dating market, relationships, I think a lot of people are way too far gone. But there are people who are willing to work on themselves, improve themselves. And when those people meet, male and female, beautiful thing can happen, right? Listen, guys, as always, curious to know what you guys think. Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you guys for checking out another episode of The Coffee Pod. Till next time, man, I'm out. Peace.